This video is sponsored by VIPSCDKey.com. VIPSCDKey is a marketplace website where you can purchase game keys and software keys with no hassle. VIPSCDKey offers a legit Windows 10 Pro key for only $21. But to make it more awesome, they will be giving another 20% discount. Just type our coupon code XTNC to get it for only $15. If you're in the Philippines, purchasing is very easy. You can use PayPal, PayMaya, or GCash. Visit VIPSCDKey.com now. I'll put the link in the video description below. Hey guys, Action here and welcome back to another video. So meron ako ditong ngayong case from NZXT, which is yung kanilang H1 Mini ITX case. And yes, this is a V2 or version 2 na po ito. Hindi na yung version 1, which is what they previously recalled due to it being a fire hazard. So in this video, tuturuan kayo paano mag-build dito sa NZXT H1 Mini ITX case na V2. And also kung gaano nga ba kadali mag-build and some performance benchmarks with that case. So yeah, without further ado, let's go! Pero before everything else, let's take a look at the parts muna that we're using for this build. For the motherboard, we have the ROG Strix Z590i Gaming Wi-Fi from Asus, which is a mini ITX motherboard. CPU na ilalagay natin dyan is only the Intel Core i7-10700KF, which is an 8-core 16-thread LGA 1200 na CPU na walang iGPU. Then for the memory, we have the T-Force Tiger 8 32GB DDR4, 16GB x2, and for the storage, we have the Team Group CX1 480GB as our boot drive. And for the GPU, we have this huge Asus ROG Strix GeForce RTX 3080 para may idea kayo if you're going to put larger graphics cards like this one. The rest like yung CPU cooler, power supply, and even the PCIe riser card is already included with the case, as you'll see later on. So ito yung laman ng box niya. Aside the case itself, you'll get some installation accessories gaya ng mounting backplates for both the new LGA 1200 and 1700, power cable, quick start guide, and some cable ties. The case design is actually smart. You have filtered mesh in the sides lang, none on the back, and the front is tempered glass. But in my opinion, sana may all mesh option din for better airflow and temperatures, especially kung high-end hardware ilalagay natin dito. It also comes in the two colors, which is a matte white and black. Front panel is very minimal. Power button along with the power LED indicator, two USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports, one USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type C, and 3.5mm combo headset jack lang. Inside the case, you'll see we have a pre-installed 140mm AIO liquid cooler from NZXT, along with some PWM fans and controller included, as well as SFX L 750W 80+ gold power supply. Kaya medyo mahal ang purchase price nitong case na ito kasi hindi siya bare bones lang. Meron na din itong kasamang PCIe Gen 4 riser card para sa graphics card since nasa kabilang side ang mounting niya. Pre-routed na rin ang mga cables as you can see for a much simplified building experience and clean appearance. Now it's time for us to build dito. So parang quick step by step lang tayo dito para magkaroon kayo ng idea guys paano ko binuild yung mga parts inside the NZXT H1 V2. So when I build PC, usually ang unang ginagawa ko is to disassemble the case entirely para mas may access tayo on all sides of the case. So remove all panels at the back and the tempered glass sa harap, as well as the side panels by pulling this one up. So parang may railings ito kaya guided naman ang paghatak and reinstallation later on. As you might notice, may mga labels and instructions na nakadikit sa case on how to do things para mas user-friendly building experience. Then I usually install the CPU on the motherboard, then the memory or RAM. And kung may M.2 kayo na SSD, it's better to install na rin dito sa part na ito so that you still have easy access on the port. Kasi pag kinabit natin sa case yan later on, medyo mahirapan na tayo. In our case, we'll be using the SATA SSD instead, so mamaya na yon. We're also mounting the backplate here for our cooler. May included ito sa board along with the mounting screws. Next is to prepare the CPU cooler bracket for installation. Open nyo lang itong part na ito, then i-remove nyo lang yung black na styrofoam which holds the CPU blocks as well as yung PCIe riser cable. Then install na natin yung motherboard. Get these screws on the accessory pack, then insert nyo lang yung motherboard sa case. Check nyo yung orientation kung paano i-insert. Nasa ilalim yung pinaka-IO ports niya, then insert nyo on this side. medyo itabi nyo lang yung mga cables na nakaharang para hindi maipit. Then secure na lang siya doon sa mga pre-installed standoffs by screwing in. Check nyo din yung clearance ng RAM nyo or any other components kung tatama ba when we close the case. Ideally, dapat ang gamit nating mga memory modules dito is low profile or kung hindi masyadong mataas mga heatsink. Pero as you can see, for this one, medyo malaki pa. Take note din na hindi pa fully mounted yung block sa CPU. Next is isasaksak or i-plug yung connection ng 24-pin for the power supply as well as the 8-pin CPU power connector. Okay, next, get these screws ulit from the accessory pack and now it's time to mount the CPU cooler block sa motherboard. Take note on the pre-applied thermal paste. So ingatan nyo na hindi ito mahawakan, then make sure the tubes in the correct position according dun sa label na nasa block. Pwede tanggalan yan later, so okay lang. Then put the block in place by screwing. Don't forget to plug the pump into the AIO pump header or any other PWM header na iba sa CPU fan header. Also, connect din natin yung front panel cables to their respective ports. As you can see here, like yung power button and LED which is consolidated na on a single header. So, USB 3.2 Type A, front panel audio, and yung fan controller. So, good job NZXT on this. So, connect na din natin yung SATA cable na nakalagay for our SSD which we will install later on. Also, connect the PCIe Gen 4 riser cable on the sole PCIe slot sa motherboard. To install our SATA SSD, open nyo lang itong panel kung nasaan ang ating fan controller. And you'll see the compartment for the 2.5-inch drives. Toolless ito as you can see. All you have to do is push the drive in and may clip nandun na magre-retain sa kanya, which is nice. Don't forget to connect the data and power cables nung SSD. Then close the panel. Next is the graphics card. Remove natin itong screws for the PCIe mounts. Then let's check kung kasya nga ba ang graphics card natin. As you can see, it fits. So yun guys, tip ko, i-test fit nyo muna bago nyo ilagay. So let's proceed with the installation. Mount lang natin siya on the PCIe riser cable ng dahan-dahan. And then, pag naisalpak na natin na maayos, screw it para ma-secure siya sa case. Connect the 3 8-pin PCIe power cables dun sa GPU, then secure it with some cable ties and close this panel para ma-secure lalo. Take note na dapat walang nakalangpas na cable para mas madali isara yung case later on. Manage the other cables by using the Velcro straps or some cable ties. Then, i-close na lang natin yung mga panels. Again, dapat hindi forced ang mga tubes ng AIO cooler natin. And dapat maitutulak lang natin ito with ease. Then, tighten the screws. Put the side panels back by sliding it down. Then, yung back panel and then the tempered glass sa front. And we're done. Ganun lang kadali. Of course, we need to peel this plastic off. Now that we're done building it, ipakita ko lang saglit sa inyo kung ano ang temps ng case na ito when fully closed, which is the normal use case scenario. On idle load, our CPU has an average temps of 34 degrees Celsius. And ang ambient temp ko dito sa room, which is air condition, ay 27 degrees. On gaming naman, temps are okay then, as we see here. Our CPU temps are averaging at around 50 to 70 degrees, depending sa load ng game. Kung light lang like CSGO or Apex Legends, or kung CPU heavy ito, may tendency na umabot na 70 plus degrees like dito sa Cyberpunk and F1. Max na yung 80 degrees. GPU on the other hand, it's the same story, with our temps averaging between 50 to 70 degrees then, with 70 degrees being the maximum due to our VPR cooler and mesh panel kaya magandang airflow ng GPU. Finally, I also ran AIDA64 stress test just to see the worst case scenario for this kind of build. Medyo concerned ako sa CPU since it reached out a maximum of 94 degrees but given na AVX load and synthetic benchmark ito which is bihira on gaming and some multitasking, madalas hindi naman aabot ng ganito. Actually, yung average temps nito when testing hovered at around 50 to 60 degrees. While yung GPU naman, same scenario lang din ng gaming so no worries here. Kayang-kaya ng case. Then here's a quick sound test for the fans. Like yung nakalagay ito sa table mo, gaano ba siya kaingay? Both on the CPU side and sa GPU side. So let's talk about the pros and cons nitong NZXT H1 V2. For me, the pros are napakadali niyang i-build or i-assemble. The procedures are clearly indicated or labeled so hindi nakakalito masyado. PCIe Gen 4 riser cable included, as well as power supply na 750 watt na SFX-L. May fan controller na din nakasama. Pre-routed yung cable so hindi masyadong madugo ang cable management unlike other mini ITX builds. And madali mag-install ng large GPUs, even our ROG Strix RTX 3080 na malaki. Kita nyo naman, mabilis lang na na-install. Now let's talk about the cons. Unang-una, I really don't see it much as a con pero yung AIO cooler natin only being 140mm. Mukhang medyo alanganin when we put higher end CPUs here, especially like the 12900K. And kapag gagamitin natin ito on the CPU heavy loads, surely may mga potential ito mag-thermal throttle. Pero kung gaming lang, I think wala tayong problema dito. Yun nga lang, medyo hirap ito palitan, especially medyo rare ang mga 140mm AIO unless bibili ka sa NZXT mismo for replacement. You can do 120mm naman din pero mas hihina ang cooling power nun. Also, wala ding option for a mesh front panel. NZXT said na tingin nila okay na daw yung cooling performance ng H1 ngayon according to their testing kaya di na sila nag-offer ng mesh panel sa option. Pero in my opinion lang, sana meron pa rin just to complement the aesthetic and also absolutely better airflow on all sides. Other than that, wala na akong mairereklamo. So far, so good itong case na to. Not the smallest ITX case out there, pero kung gusto mo lang na minimal footprint sa table mo, although medyo taller ito than other mini ITX cases, pwede mo ito i-consider. Medyo mahal nga lang ang purchase price nito at around $399 or sa local pricing natin, nasa 19,000 pesos. Due to it na meron pre-installed power supply, AIO at PCIe Gen 4 riser cable. And I think walang bare bones option nito or yung case lang. Sa bagay, kung bibili ka lang din naman ng mga components na ito, mga ganyan din naman na magagastos mo since mini ITX builds tends to be more expensive. So NZXT has done you a favor na rin kung sakali, di ba? So there you have it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Ako ang Upload sa Action. So like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video.